you had one more day of living to do, what would you do? And I would be on a little trout stream with a 3-weight rod, a bunch of small little trout, nobody around me, pine trees rustling in the wind, gurgling stream, a bunch of willing little 7, 10-inch fish, and a royal wolf. Man, at the end of that day, you can take me. I'd be happy as hell, man. I love the variety, I love the simplicity, I love the size of the fish, I love the background, the ambiance, you know, looking at the hills, the sky. Everything that I've ever done anywhere in the world, I can find it here at any given time. So in 2005, I retired. I'd been working 18 hours a day, 6 days a week for 2 years, doing some special work for the school district, and I was just burned out. So I decided, hey, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna get up in the morning, I have a cup of coffee, Barbara and I are gonna sit around, we're gonna read the newspaper, watch the news, I'll go fishing for a while, I'll tie some flies, we'll go out to dinner at night. Oh man, what a life, right? 2 months later, I was about ready to die. I mean, I was bored. I was sick and tired of it. I thought, I can't do this the rest of my life. So that's when I started getting back into coaching, getting back into guiding, because you got a goal every day. You got to have a reason for getting up and doing stuff. Yeah, well, you know, in 1980, the summer of '84, my wife got breast cancer. In about 18 months, my mom, my first wife, my dad, and my grandfather all died. And I was at my wife and my mother's bedside for the last 3 days. And I'll tell you something, that was another serious turning point in my life. Sitting on their bedside, what they all talked about, I'm telling you, if you're worried about material stuff, you're wasting your time. Because when they were dying, this is not an exaggeration, in the last 36 hours of their life, I do not remember one single conversation about material stuff. Because I think the way you treat people is pretty much what might be the most important thing in your life. Because when you go to die, I've always asked my kids and my athletes, what do you want on your headstone? You just kind of pull your rod back and let it go, pull it back and let it go. Hell yes. All right, rod right. Now reel. But if you got rod to the right, that's what's going to happen to that fish. So the whole thing is rod right the second you touch that fish. Boom, rod right. There's actually some big fish down there, and your casting is right now perfect. You just got to remember, the second you feel that, you just right hard.
Well, the one thing, you learn so much about how to do things in fishing, you know, I mean, most of us, it's like everything else, you never take lessons or anything, you just go out and start doing it, you know.
Lee Wolf or somebody.
And it's
beautiful.
Kind of nice to have somebody tell you how to do it.
That thing hurts. The only two things I think about in my free time basically are teaching and fishing. Both my parents were teachers at one point in time, and I think it's just something that has always been a part of me. I started coaching wrestling in 1969 when I was a sophomore in college. We're the only species on this planet that has the ability to actually consciously think about self-improvement. There's nothing else that does that. So, and then if you're a human being and you're not consciously really working at self-improvement, whether it's personal improvement, professional improvement, you know, whatever, you're kind of wasting the human experience as far as I'm concerned. I went to guide school in 1986, a week during the summer to a Orvis guide school. And oh my God, I'll never forget the one thing I remember more than anything else, the guide telling us, he said, look, man, you tell a client 3 or 4 times to do something. If they don't do it, the hell with them. Man, I can't do that. It's just impossible. If somebody can't catch fish, I don't ever blow it off on bad fishing. Like yesterday, you know, I just didn't have the right fly. I couldn't figure out how to get them in the right place. I believe somebody could have figured that out. My biggest thing with clients is just, I try to enjoy my clients. I try to find more out about them. I try to get a kick out of their screw-ups. It's the process is way more important than the end result. And I think if you can pass that on to a client, it catches. And pretty soon they realize this is all about the process. Just keep making a good cast, and if the fish wants to eat, he's gonna eat it. And if he doesn't, guess what? We're gonna go home and have a good meal. So we just started cooking meals, which is kind of nice because we get to visit with our clients. We get to find out what their personal life is like. You kind of connect. And I can also tell a little bit about the client in terms of their personality. You've got to have some kind of a connection if you really want to be successful teaching and guiding. And they come back because they have a fun time being with me and they don't feel any pressure to catch a fish. When I'm not on the water, I feel like I want to be on the water. When I'm on the water, I feel like I want to stay on the water. I mean, that's probably the best way I can put it. First thing goes through my mind is just I'm thinking, man, I'm not going to be here much longer. You know, I don't care if I live another 30 years, it won't be long enough. You got to get up in the morning and tell yourself, hey, I got to really enjoy today. You got to live for the day because you never know. Yesterday I was thinking that when we were looking at that sunset. I don't know how many more sunsets I'm ever going to see. So just really enjoy this one. Yep. To me, life is just about being emotional. You gotta feel alive. You don't feel alive unless you feel stuff. At some point, there's going to be a last day of everything we do. There's going to be a last day of coaching. There's going to be a last day of guiding. There's going to be a last day. You need to think, at least I need to think, every time I experience something, hey, this could be my last day. You know, people keep asking me, how long are you going to keep doing this? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to keep going. As far as I can tell, my goal right now is at least 80. I'm going to do that till I'm 80. That's my goal. I'm going to be the only guide in the history of Wyoming to guide until they're 80, with walk trips every day, not rowing a boat. I'm 73, and I think motion, activity is the lubricant of life. You have to want to see what life is. You know, we can take the time to really appreciate what's around us and the people around us. Take the time to enjoy today. Pretty guy, huh? Really pretty.